This is JC from Real and Simulated Wars. Armored Brigade has released this week a new DLC which now covers the forces of France and Belgium. As you will see, along with the DLC and a very nice order of battle for each of the two, a new map was included. The new map covers the region of the Ardennes, and I'm gonna quickly showcase it right here. It is centered around the town of Bastogne, and it goes all the way around. I believe it is 40 by 40 kilometers of highly detailed terrain, with a region that, of course, it is very hilly and it is kind of restricted for armored warfare. We'll see that in a couple of minutes when I show you some gameplay for this DLC. I am here with one of the included scenarios for the French. I'm defending as the French, east of Bastogne. I have in front of me supposedly a Soviet mechanized force, and my objective is to defend. Let's zoom in into the map. There are three objectives into this. There is a command post, an ammunition dump, and an aid station. They're kind of staggered in this way. So how I want to play this thing, this basically based on an ambush, and let me explain why. The main force should be considered our paratroopers here, which some of them they have these rocket launchers with some sort of anti-armor capabilities, but most of them they are infantrymen, and you know they move at slow pace through the battlefield. So I just placed them in a defensive position. The main command post is going to be defended by a series of anti-tank assets, which some of them are just rocket launchers like this one, but I also have ATGM teams, like, you know, guided missiles, anti-tank, which are located in front of it. I'm anticipating that I'm gonna have to be moving them depending on the type of approach that I received from the Soviets. There is also some recoilless rifles that are going to be providing some cover. So where's my armor? Well, my armor is mainly these AMX 13. Call it here light tanks, but I do believe their intended role was to be used as a type of tank destroyer, but nonetheless they're based in, you know, the 90mm gun type, and they are kind of undergunned. So not that they cannot destroy the occasional T-55, even some T-62 sometimes if the shot is from the flank or from the rear, but you know, the amount of troops, I don't know how much the opposition is gonna be, so I'm gonna keep them in two roles. One of them, it is like this guy over here, just in an ambush, like this one, or this one over there. Please notice some of them, they have guided missiles, which is great. It was a great addition, but some of them they are just plain, and well, many of these I do have covering some of the main objectives, and these guys are plainly in reserve, just waiting to see if there is any type of breakthrough from the right and from the left. I'm leaving my north flank pretty much open, and I hope that I can exploit the use of my scout cars to observe what is going on and kind of anticipate if the main push from the Soviets is going to be from there. But more or less this is what I intend to fight this battle so far. kind of deep into my territory. I have a couple of listening posts here and there, but I'm not gonna make too much out of them. Of course, a thing that they always forget is to set up a very small range, so they don't are like, you know, ringing a bell, we are here, or shooting some armor, which sometimes is very annoying to have these scouts shooting at the BMP just because it is in front of them. There is a particular piece of commentary that I wanted to make about this DLC, which I believe it becomes more evident. You know that this has been around for a while, but it's one of the issues that I wish it could have been covered a little bit. The thing is, the Ardennes is a pretty hilly terrain, and well, in this case we have the map here, and if you go into the line of sight tool, you will see that line of sight is interrupted here and there because of course there are hills, and of course have the trees and everything else. But my perception of the map, it is that it's not showing you the slopes or the type of you know, the hills positions very, very well. You have to zoom out all the way down, and when you zoom in you don't see it. I find myself using the plain regular map, which has a better shadowing or more evident shadowing to show you, like for instance, this is a hilly place that I would rather don't go. So that's one of the things that I don't particularly, I'm not very fond of it. And well, this is something that I wish would have been addressed. I do believe that, you know, there is still the ISO map and whatnot, but when it comes to make these things evident, I would really like to have something that is, you know, more indicative of what the slope is. So I'm gonna just hit start. Of course, I'm gonna be asked for some TRPs for artillery, so I'm gonna put one over there and one over here, and that's pretty much it. So the game has started. So there are a couple of contacts here and there, and well, we'll just move through the battle. I don't intend to record every single second because this battle is around 40 minutes, and I have set up my system in a way that every time that an enemy ground unit is spotted or seen, and also any time that one of my units is under fire, to pause this. The reason I do this, because here comes the other thing that I am not very fond about this game, it is that armored units or vehicle units, they don't have a sense of survival or survival instincts. They will just keep moving. They will not take cover by themselves. And of course there are some orders that you can give them, like for instance you can tell it, well, this is not a vehicle, but you know, you get the idea. You can ask him, this unit, to reverse, but it will take a command delay to reverse, and sometimes this reverse can be misunderstood as a you know, get out of harm's way, which is something that the unit should be doing itself. So that's why I have these type of pauses embedded into my gameplay, and I apologize for that. So alright, so units are starting to fire. You see that well, you know, somehow sometimes it's a bit, you know, disorienting how these things are working, or how lines of sight are working. This is going all the way through this patch of forest here, which somehow you wouldn't anticipate. But anyway, I forgot to set the range for this. I'm gonna put it at 400, so we don't are, you know, firing like we did right here. And well, I will catch up with you when the battle is a bit more developed. And here is a demonstration of how the, other than armor anti-tank assets that I do have available, like the recoilless rifles, are working out in this game in particular. You would see that that kind of push that the Soviets are bringing in from the northeast, right there, that column. Let's see how it plays out. There's multiple targets over there. See, it's pretty much solid. Helps to keep the Soviets in check so far. So I don't know if these guys are kind of immobilized, but you know, being destroyed. Let's zoom in completely, and you will see that at least they are stopped over there. Oh, there we go. It's done. And right here, some miscellaneous use of the defilade position on that Soviet unit, a BTR-60 that is coming through. So of course my problems are increasing right now, because if you look at that south flank of mine, it is getting increasingly busy. So let's see how this thing goes. And we are still dealing with recon troops from the Soviet side. Some of them are in heavy trouble. Oh, look at those rocket launchers. They're shooting like hell into them. They have only 3 rockets left. And let's see if they can make it. There we go. Now it is gone. Now tanks have started to appear. So it is all about to get interesting. So we have the Soviets completely unleashed, and they're about to make it to the command post. I have very little assets left. And probably they're gonna break into this objective. Also some of them pushing from the north. That's remarkable. So they're bombarding us too. As you see, the regular and absolutely fantastic Armored Brigade mayhem. See, I have them shooting really very intensive. It is just a freaking mess. Very violent attack. And this thing keeps getting into my way. Stops. Just continue. I don't know even where to go with my pointer. It's like they're coming everywhere. Well, this is just recon forces, which is perfectly fine. So now I'm completely running out of missiles here. This one probably didn't shoot because there's any headquarters contact, and probably the enemy tanks are kind of very close, so any missile shooting from there wouldn't have a chance to arm. Wanna make them rotate over there. It is kind of, I was not predicting this, and I should have. The violence of the Soviets firing is very, very, you know, very impressive. And also the speed at which they are moving. It's kind of shocking. Which is of course the typical armor shock. But seeing this being driven by the AI is a kind of a very, very nice thing. That, well, it has been all the time over there. It's not particular to this. But now that I have these light forces, it's kind of very, very impressive. I apologize for my timer going out. Wow, they are just bombarding the heck out of us. Look at them. We have some paratroopers going out. This is very nice. This is very good, and I wish this type of behavior, you know, these mount units in Armored Brigade, they can retreat. Not too much for the vehicle units, and I don't know why is that. I just wish they would have some sort of, you know, survival mechanism where they could just try to get out of harm's way. That's all I'm asking. Well, we have one of our vehicles on under fire. Who is shooting at you, buddy? Oh. It is a wheeled vehicle. Just shoot back. So of course we don't have used our support here, and of course we have the Mirage, we have our Jaguars, we have the Gazelle helicopters. It is really very, very, very cool. We're going to give them some RD support. I'll set the target right there. This turned out to be a great battle. I'm really enjoying it. Very intense. I really like how the Soviets, you know, keep trying to punch in a very concentrated way. This has changed since the original release, which is very, very, very pleasant. So right now all I have left is just to wait to see how this battle ends, and I will see you in a few minutes. Just a few minutes later, I'm still under pressure for the command post, and well, there comes the Mirages. They're shooting at them. All right. They're going in depth. Right there. And of course all my center is under pressure right now. I cannot see many of the troops, but I suspect by the volume of fire that I am in kind of a trouble right here. So far the battle is far from over. And look how much they use artillery. Is that smoke? Wow. This is a lot. But nonetheless, just skip a few minutes and see where it goes. And this is something that I wanted to you guys to see. The command post is about to get pummeled with some Soviet armor. I don't know if we're going to be able to stop it, but see that bombardment there? Very coordinated, very, very nice. You know, kind of the AI firing on me before taking the objective. That is a great gaming moment there. I just wanted to share it with you. Let's move forward then. Well, this was just taken out of War Thunder or something like that. This AMX, you know, they just bump it into this, what was this, a T-55 maybe, yeah. So, they just shot each other point blank. And they're, you know, just moving along to their next destination. And right now the battle is about to start. I have only 3 minutes left. I'm trying to retake the command post, but I do believe it doesn't matter, because even if I retake it, it was already stepped into by the Soviets, so there is no way that we're gonna get points of that or something like that. I don't know too much, but anyway, 2 minutes to go, I believe. So the situation is not very stable, but I can tell that I destroyed a lot of Soviet armor, and well, that has to count to something. Maybe I blunted their efforts to come on in, and probably it's gonna be enough to end up with a victory. So well, this thing took me all the video. I wanted to show you a little bit of the Belgian forces, but unfortunately it's not going to be possible at this time. The Belgians have better tanks. Oh, by the way, of course, the French do have the AMX 30, which has a bit more of a staying power than the AMX 13. And that's a relatively good tank, but it doesn't beat, you know, the Leopard 1 that the Belgian forces do have. And for them, you know, the Belgians are completely reliant on American and German type of gear, so it's a complete different type of setup that you have over there. And yes, I do believe that this is a very worthy DLC. It's pretty cheap and it offers a lot of playing value. I have generated some battles myself, and it looks pretty good. I really like this DLC. So this battle doesn't end yet. I don't know why. Let's skip forward. I want to show you what the final situation is for this one, the briefing screen, and we'll talk about some, you know, parting conclusions and takes from this video. And finally, dudes, the battle has ended. So let's see. Wow, we did get a major victory. We lost 9 vehicles, 66 troops. The Soviets themselves lost like 58 vehicles. That was a lot. And well, hope you liked this. It was pretty much like a very nice, and this is something that you will see a lot. I wish that I have chosen or have made like some sort of showcasing the offensive power of the French, from the French side. If you read about during the Cold War, the French were pretty much reliant on maneuver and striking power, but I never believed that we were, meant or set up for some massive offensives or something like that, more in the counter-attack role. But nonetheless, this is not going to be the last video, and we will see you around, and hopefully we can talk more about this war game. So let me know what you think about this DLC, and if you have it, and post any questions that you have. Please subscribe and like if you do. And thank you very much for your attention, and have a great rest of the weekend.